Hello, I'm Susanna, and this is the Susanna Gibbs Show. On this podcast, we focus on Texas, the artists, idealists, and entrepreneurs that make up this great state. Now, Texas would not be what it was if it weren't for our neighbors to the south, Mexico. So much great art, culture, food is credited to our neighbors. And our next guest brings a lot of that influence into her art. Grecia is a wonderful, lovely, sweet person. I really enjoyed talking to her, and I hope you enjoy this conversation. The insurance agency sponsors this podcast, so please go to gibagencydallas.com to read more about the guests. Hey, get some quotes. We'd be happy to talk to you about your insurance and anything else that you want to tell us about this show. We'd love to hear from you. And now, on with the show. On the podcast with me today is Grecia, owner of Luz Y Tierra. I probably didn't do that very good, but a Latino artisanal candle business. And I got to say, for anybody who's listening, I would go to her website right now so you can look at what we're talking about. She has these amazing ceramics with handmade candles, and I'm so excited to have you here. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your business, how it started, how you came up with the idea. And pronounce the name better for me.
So we are Luz Y Tierra, which translates to light and earth. We began about 3 years ago, and it all started from me creating candles in thrifted containers. And on one of my visits to the thrift store, I found some containers that really reminded me of my Mexican roots and my heritage. So I pretty much purchased a bunch of items that reminded me, and I got home, I made them into candles, and I put them online, calling them the Mexicanita collection, and it went viral on TikTok, and from there, it was a very natural flow. After that, I started traveling to Mexico to look for more ceramics. And that's where I stumbled upon artisans that create these vessels. And I took a lot of interest in highlighting them, their process, and showcasing their work to the world. And I really, really love the different types of ceramic that exist in Mexico. So I really wanted to make everyone feel like they belong and be connected to something that I was creating. So
yeah, the ceramics on your, like, all the different collections are so beautiful and they're so different. How did you find the artists for these? I know that I already told you that the Puebla collection is one of my favorites, but there's so many beautiful ones here. How did you find them?
I found them at by visiting towns in Mexico. There's a lot of mercados or markets where there's a lot of artists where you can find textiles or ceramics, and it was really just asking questions like where is this from, or and once I pinned down like the actual makers, I started visiting their workshops where they create these items, and with every artisan workshop that we meet, we always tell them what we intend to do with their pieces, and that we're an artisanal candle business. And 100% of the time, they are super excited, and they are even surprised that we're gonna do the kind of work that we do with their pieces, because most of the pieces are home decor, and creating them into candles is a little different. But that is really how we find them, and also through social media. We spend hours online looking for scouting for different artisans, and as well, we reach out to them and we start placing our orders. So we start collaborating with the pieces that we really are interested in and that they can create for us.
Yeah, for the one that I'm looking at on the Puebla collection, the green and white one that I'm so enamored with. It's like a cup and saucer. It's not, I imagine when they made it, they weren't thinking somebody's going to put a candle in it. They were thinking somebody's going to put tea or coffee.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. And the beauty of another beauty of the business is that most of our items you can reuse them. So it has like
mm,
and pretty much a it'll have a life forever. The piece that you have, you don't necessarily have to throw it away. We hope that you don't throw it away because it is handmade and like the Puebla collection. It's ceramic, it's food safe, it's lead free, and you're able to reuse it or make it part of your home decor. And yeah, so you get to pretty much keep the piece forever.
how many pieces, like when you went to, so for example, the Puebla collection is made in Puebla, Mexico, in collaboration with Talavera Salazar. How many pieces did you initially buy from him when you met with them?
When I met with them, I went to their workshop and they have over, I would say, over 200 items to choose from. And I probably left with like 30 of them. And
Okay.
that's just on my to Mexico, I start choosing pieces that I think would work best for a candle, and then just also testing and seeing like what I think about them, and that's usually how it goes. I'll visit them or I'll order something like like if I visit them in person, I'll take home like 30 pieces, and if I'm placing an order online, then that's when the quantities change. And so we run a large production here in our facility. That's whenever it's just like me taking samples home, and then that's when I place my larger orders.
Got it. Got it. Is there,
Right.
I'm sure every collection is your favorite, but is there one that speaks to your heart more than another?
Um, yeah, I think that is a difficult question. I always tell like people as a joke that it's like asking who your favorite child is because because I love something. I have really unique and amazing memories because of me getting to meet the artisan. So it's really hard to pinpoint my favorite, but I would say my one of my favorites is the Puebla collection because it was one of the first that I ever
Mm,
launched, and the relationship that we've created with Talavera Salazar has been an an amazing one, and we've created one of a kind items that are just exclusive to Luz Y Tierra,
oh,
and
nice.
nobody pretty much they're exclusive to us. So if like another candle maker or another company wants to order it, then they wouldn't be able to because it's unique to us. It was a
Too
piece
bad,
that
so sad.
we collaborated with and pretty much created together with them.
What's the style for, since we're talking about the Puebla collection, can
It
you describe the style? So, I mean, people are obviously listening, but
Yeah, so Talavera is a one of the oldest ceramic to Mexico, but and that's just because it started from like the colonial times and it or yeah, but
yeah.
whenever Spain and France started coming over to Mexico, and they brought with them their own ceramic, and um the people that were there in Mexico, they liked that type of ceramic and they started creating their own clay. There's a very specific type of clay that's native to Puebla, and that's the clay that to this day is still used. And most of our going a little off topic, but like most of the ceramics and clay items that we offer, the dirt, like the material that they use is native to that land. So
Mm.
we work with our orchid collection. It's the 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 clay is still dug up in the mountains, and then it's brought down and molded into the pieces that we offer for that collection. And the same thing with the Puebla. It's inspired by ceramics from Spain, China, and Portugal. And
Oh,
then
that's,
they pretty much took all the styles and made it their own, which is now called Talavera.
what is the importance to you of, like you say, making sure that the clay is from the area it comes and highlighting these parts of Mexico?
I think for me, it's super important. That's the reason that we have these collections, like we have the Puebla collection, the Oaxaca collection, because for me, it's important to highlight the ancestral process of the items that are made, and also highlight the uniqueness of that type of ceramic from native to that part of Mexico. I think we anybody really recognizes like a clay type of place piece that's made from Mexico because it has like a little flower on it, or you can kind of like tie it into that. But it's important for me to showcase other types of ceramic and show that there's different different art that exists in Mexico. And my goal would be to create a collection from all the municipalities of Mexico. And because there's so much art and so much artistry, and because of our platform that we've been able to grow, I want to use that to highlight them and continue not helping, but I want to continue being part of keeping those traditions alive, and continuing to bring value to these handmade items. And
that's part of your mission, right?
Yeah, that is part of my mission. Part of my mission is to connect others to Mexico, and also see the value and appreciate items that are handmade, and while also being able to recycle or reuse their item.
Yeah. So did you start making candles during COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you always made candles, or were you just like one day going, I need a candle. I need a light.
That's exactly how it happened. It was during the shutdown where everybody was stuck at home. And I always wanted to make something, create something. And one day I was just, it was as simple as that. I was like, let me make candles. And that's how the journey began. I was taking courses online, watching YouTube videos, and little by little, it's been an ongoing learning process.
So did you always like candles, or just one day you were like, I'm going to make a candle?
Yeah, it was just like a instant spark like that. One day I was having a conversation with my partner, who is also like a partner in the business, and I was just telling him like, I want to make something, I want to create something, and he's always been super supportive of everything that I do, and he was just like, well, why don't you try like make candles? Like, you love them so much. I always had candles all over our house, and it was just like, it was the spark that I needed, or the idea that I needed, and I just went with it, and it.
How do you start making candles? Do you order it online, or like, I don't even...
Yeah, well, to be honest, like my very first candle like kit that I created was me just going to Amazon and putting candle kit, and I found like this like $50 starter kit for candle making, and that's literally how I started. And I just was learning, testing, and I used to play with scents. It was it wasn't super intentional to be a business, or it was more of like me just following my creativity and this little curiosity that I had towards making candles that grew into what it has grown to today. It was just really following my creativity and allowing myself to make the time to do those things, because I did have my full-time job, but it was just something that I really took a interest in and followed.
So at what point did you, and it was TikTok where you guys got crazy, right? Like, how long into the process were you just, you're like, I'm just going to throw this stuff up on TikTok and let's just,
It was within a few months. I think I had just opened up my shop, and within a few months I was like, I'm going to put this on TikTok. And my little sister really was the one that, he was like, why don't you post on TikTok? And for me, I was like, I don't know. But I just started posting, and I'm thankful that I did, because so many people are are able to grow their business through social media and places like TikTok. And thankfully a lot of people have found us, and I think our account is at over 200,000 followers.
Nice.
And on Instagram, we've also just been progressively growing as well. And social media has been really helpful and is a really helpful tool for small business owners.
When you said you went viral initially, was there one video that just exploded? And how many views did that one have?
It got over 200,000 views, and it was overnight. And it was just me. It was so simple. It's like the randomest videos go viral on TikTok because it was just me holding this the candle that I had made that reminded me of Mexico, and I was describing it as café de olla, which is like Spanish for like coffee, but it's a traditional Mexican way of making coffee. And I said it was scented like coffee, and then I put Mexican music that I really related to and grew up to, and that people connected with that. And then from there, it was just we kept posting, and videos kept going viral, and more people were following us and ordering from us. And even now, but the first 2 years, it was pretty challenging because we were selling out within 5 minutes that we would go live on our website. And it was really hard as a small business owner, pretty much making the candle and then shipping it, and then for it to be gone in 5 minutes, and then you still have like thousands of people wanting the same item that you just restocked. And it's been challenging. Even now, we still sell out of like new collections or certain items that are really sought after. So that's been pretty challenging as a business owner of keeping up with demand and figuring out what is that people are after, but at the same time keeping keeping stock on the website so that anybody that wants to come shop can have a opt-in. But yes, let's see.
What do you think you guys will do as far as do you think you'll stay this artisan? We've got what we've got, and this is, because there's a business model for that, right? It's like, no, we're going to stay small. We're going to do what we do. Or we're going to sell to Pottery Barn. We're going to sell to, which, do you guys know what path you're moving on right now?
We've explored paths like that before with the large retailers, but what's really important for me is not losing the artisanal process of it, and like my pullback, which is basically our whole mission. I would definitely have to change business structures and to be able to supply to large retailers. And I don't know yet if I'm willing to lose that part of the business of the beauty is handmade. Maybe I could create items that are inspired by these handmade items and produce them at large quantities, but it's been an ongoing question that I've asked myself, because we have been reached out by large retailers that we've had to turn down because I'm just not at that point. I'm just not at that moment where I'm able to let that go, because I think that's what people have connected to from the get-go, and I'm not ready to let it go.
Is it just you and your partner right now?
It's us two, and we have 6 employees.
Okay. That's great. That's so exciting. And your business partner is also your romantic partner, correct?
Yes, he is. We've been together 6 years, and growing. And I think as we've been blessed enough that we don't get tired of each other and see each other every day. And we have a really open of open line of communication, and we also know we respect each other's boundaries, and I respect his voice just as much as he respects mine. So, but we still have a lot of growing to do, and but I'm thankful that like him and I recognize that, and so it worked.
I've talked to a lot of husband and wife teams, partner teams who they've worked together for 20 years or so. And I would ask, oftentimes I would be sitting with the wife and I was like, okay, what's it like working with your husband? And I hear, oh. And I was like, well, would you do it again? And they'd say, yes. Yes.
Maybe. Yeah,
There's
definitely.
something magical about that partnership. If you find the right sauce to make it work, not that it's not without its challenges, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I think I'm like I always tell him he's like my anchor, because I think it like I created the business, or I had the idea. I can sometimes fly a little too high and have all these, like dreams and aspirations and ideas, and he's the one that like, yeah, he anchors me down, and he always grounds. I feel like he grounds me, and he's like more level-headed and more analytical and more like, no, like, like we need a plan. So I think we balance each other out very good, because I'm a dreamer. Like I will just have all these thoughts and ideas and figure out how to do it later, and I just kind of go for it. And then I'm like, well, I'll just learn as I go. And he's more like, no, we need to make a plan. We need to, like think about it before you just go for it. So that's how we really meet in the middle.
Do you ever go out on dates and have a date night and you're like, listen, this is a no work date night?
Yes, all the time. And then like we just went on an outing a few weeks ago, and we were both laughing because we were enjoying it so much, and we're like, oh my God, we haven't talked about the business at all. Like it's literally just been me and you, like just enjoying each other's company. So yeah, we were laughing about that, because it's so easy to just, like we're both passionate about the business and about what we do. So it's so easy to put our relationship in the back burner and just, never stop talking about what the business. So.
Well, there's a work-life balance that I would think would be a little bit challenging because you're working together. But it's interesting, the times when I've had, I don't know, I find the solution to a problem when I'm on a 4-day weekend, when I've literally said I'm not working. And then 3 days in, I go, oh my God, there it is. That's what I have to do. And I wasn't trying to find the answer.
Yeah, I think it's like, you sometimes you just need to give yourself a mental break. And whenever your mind is able to, come up with the solution or have this like really idea, and even though you've been off technically, and that's whenever the best ideas sometimes come, or the solutions come, is whenever you allow yourself to give yourself a break.
Do you have any mantras or quotes or things that motivate you or that you live by or try and tell yourself when you get out of bed in the morning?
I have a few, but one that I really like a lot is I can't remember how it goes right now, but it's like I can and I will. And sometimes like you, even though I love what I do, it is tiring because I feel like I'm on 24/7, and I maybe self-sabotage or whatever it is. But when I tell myself that I can and I will, and it gives me like a little bit of hope that that I can do the things that I have to do day in and day out. And then another one, but it's in Spanish. It's de aquí y de allá, which means from here and from there. So as a first generation Mexican American, and the first in my family to have a business or go to college, and I'm the oldest in my family. I've been in a lot of firsts, and it has felt like I'm not fully American, or I'm not fully Mexican, or I'm not. And that saying in Spanish means that you are equally from there and equally from here, and that it's okay to be 200%. I consider myself, I grew up with Mexican culture, traditions, and Spanish was my first language. And I am super appreciative of everything that my parents have done for me. And I never really, I think that's a big driving factor for me, is seeing what my ancestors and my family has gone through for me to get to this moment. And also being proudly American and living an American life that's super different from living a life in Mexico. So it's been a struggle and a challenge to, I guess, juggle the two. But I would say in recent years, since I've launched this business, it's also been, it's developed my character, and made me a stronger person, because I'm able to appreciate who I am, my roots, and not feel that I have to choose to be fully from here or fully from there. And I think that that's part of also the message that comes across with our business, and allowing others to embrace their roots while being here and living an American life. But also, yeah, embracing our heritage and where we come from, because we all come from somewhere, and we all have ancestors that worked hard to get us to where this moment in time. And yeah, I think that's something that never leaves my mind, is appreciating that and being grateful for all the troubles and all the things that my past loved ones have gone through, and even like my parents. Um, so that I even have this opportunity, this, like, many would say like an American dream of creating a business that you created and that you're passionate about. And I would say that's a blessing, and that's something that definitely drives me every day.
That's so beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, Gracia, how can people find you?
Yes, we are on, our website is www.luztierra.com. You can find us on Instagram and on TikTok and Facebook, with under that name, Luz Y Tierra. And yeah, and we're very active on social media. We love to showcase our process, our artisanal process. So, and we love to connect with our clients and our followers. So follow us on there.
Awesome. Well, and I'll put links to, on our website, Gibb Insurance, GibbAgencyDallas.com, and I'll put links to your social media and your website there, and we'll also put it on the show notes for this podcast, so people can find you and see how beautiful all your creations are.
Well,
so hang out with me for a minute. Actually, I'm going to keep you on. Is that okay? I'm going to do our insurance story, because that's how we close out our podcast, if you don't mind. So a lot of our listeners know, and I don't know, maybe you know, maybe you don't. So this podcast is supported by the insurance agency. So I wanted to start, I own the insurance agency, and I wanted to start a podcast as kind of a marketing experiment, right? But I didn't want to talk about insurance because, I'm going to run out of things to talk about with insurance that are interesting in probably 3 to 5 podcasts. So I was like, well, let's spotlight some of the amazing people that are here in Texas that we serve, that are our clients. And so we do the one little insurance snippet at the end, which is supposed to, I don't know, somebody was like, you should do that. It'll help people. Things, you should pass it on. So one of the things that, if you haven't had to do this yet, I'm sure you will, which is, as an artisan, if your wares were to be featured in, let's say, somebody in Bishop Arts was like, hey, listen, we want to put your candles in the store, but we want to make sure that you have insurance. So that's where we would come in, and we write a policy, and we do this for I actually had a candle maker at one point, and we used to do certificates. Every time she went into like Whole Foods or different stores, we would have to issue this certificate of insurance that says this is who we are. This is how much insurance we have. We have coverage. So if for some reason our candle causes damage, it'd be hard for a candle to cause damage. There's a human element involved. You either like light it and forget it, right? But that way the shop owner knows that they have coverage if something happens to yours. And so we do that all the time. And it's a great way for us to connect to our clients. We issue about 5 certificates a day for them. And it's fun actually to interact with people all day long.
Insurance is really important, especially for to want to protect your business, but like to in specific to candles, because they are flammable, and they even though yes you have to light it in order to become dangerous, but they're flammable, and like that it's important to have all those things in order.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm going to hit stop, but don't go anywhere because
okay.
I want to talk to you a minute, but I have to end the podcast. Thank you again for being with me today.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Wasn't she so fun? After I finished the podcast, I walked out and Jennifer, my producer, was like, oh, I loved her. So sweet. Thank you so much for being with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Please go to gibagencydallas.com to connect with us. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks.